Whenever you see the term administrator being applied to a role, by and large it means responsible for the maintenance and upkeeping of the X, where X generally denotes network, website, IT architecture, or database.
Any ideas?
So the key roles which you'll be asked to source in this area are network administrator, website administrator, systems administrator, database administrator. Administrators of any type of IT system really have three things in common. Their aim is to ensure that the system is currently running smoothly. They will need to have plans and strategies in place to make sure the system continues to run smoothly as conditions change. And they will have plans and strategies in place in order to cope when the very worst eventuality occurs. In many ways, the duties of these three administrators, as I mentioned, are similar, and so I've outlined these collectively, but we're going to a bit more detail here. So they include ensuring that the layout of the network or database is robust and stable enough to cater for current user demand. This will initially have been a key responsibility for the network architect or database developer when they were designing the original system. Thereafter, ongoing maintenance becomes the responsibility of the administrator. They will need to be comfortable when it comes to tweaking and adjusting the product on an ongoing basis. Often the role of the administrators will get blurred. In some companies you may never hear them referring to a network administrator, but you may see the term systems administrator or systems admin as a role title. In any case, the administration role is all about ensuring uptime of the system. And when we say systems administrator, this may actually encompass the network itself. And that's where the confusion occurs. In some companies you have network administrator and a systems administrator, and in some companies you just have a systems administrator. So these people will need to keep themselves up to speed with regards existing trends in hardware and operating systems. It also means that the best database administrators won't be afraid to tweak or even redevelop elements of their database. Now, this would include reprogramming SQL-based elements within the database itself. Administrators will regularly be setting up user accounts with their usernames, passwords, and they'll be assigning the appropriate clearance levels. They'll be troubleshooting all the day-to-day user issues. Now, this could include carrying out diagnostics on which of these problems are simply blips in an otherwise smooth operation, and also identifying which problems are actually pointing towards deeper rooted inadequacies within the network or the database. Administrators will be ensuring that their network or database is set up in a scalable format, so that it can accommodate future growth. And for networks, this means handling an ever-increasing range of voice and data traffic. This process is known as capacity planning. Administrators will also be implementing tools and techniques to prevent intrusion, and they'll be designing strategies to guard against ongoing internal and external security threats. They'll be carrying out continuous performance tuning of the network, so that as the traffic grows, the entire system is always operating at an optimum level. As far as database administrators are concerned, there also needs to be a regular focus on the cleansing of data, so they carry out scheduled restructuring of the database so as to optimize its performance. This is known as data cleansing or defragmentation. Let's now look at the duties of a systems administrator in a bit more detail. A systems administrator, otherwise known as sysadmin, supports multi-user computer environments, and they'll ensure the continuous prime performance of its IT services and support systems. A purveyor of many hats, they'll be able to turn their hand to anything to do with the system. Depending on their speciality, an administrator can also be known as a data center administrator, server administrator, a database administrator, a network operations center administrator, NOC, or even a virtualization administrator. In small companies, the IT department will give the systems administrator position a much broader scope of responsibilities. So they'll be required to support everything from end-user desktop computers, looking after the LAN and the WAN systems, and the hybrid cloud storage, and even the voice over IP phones for the business. Depending on the size of the business, the systems administrator's skills are often extensive. They must be able to script and program, as well as working with multiple operating systems. In addition to desktops, networks, applications, and file servers, they'll be looking after databases, information security systems, and storage. They'll need to understand virtualization and cloud computing as well. This will include provisioning, configuring, managing physical and virtual servers, managing software that runs on those servers, looking after the hardware that supports the servers, establishing and managing user accounts, upgrading and patching software, performing backups and recovery tasks, and will have experience using either Linux or Windows, and be up to speed on the latest cloud software systems. As I mentioned earlier, they'll have a thorough understanding of virtualization within this role. They've got to be familiar with concepts like hypervisor and emerging container technologies. I've gone into a lot of detail with regards to soft skills and qualifications in the Network Administrator module, so jump on over to there after this and have a good look at that. It's very extensive. But in general, systems administrators will have certifications like ITIL, MCSA, the Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator, CompTIA Server Plus, and Cisco type qualifications such as CCNA. As you can see, the role of a systems administrator is an extensive one with a lot of responsibilities. If you want to get specific about network administration, head over to that module in the platform and we go into precise detail about that specific role. Other than that, I hope that's helped.